Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. This is Mickey here. I'm just going to be doing a midweek update. Again, my pullback expectation obviously didn't play out. I did let you guys know inside the Discord that I took some losses and I stopped out on my put options. And obviously, thank God for that because we've just been floating up for the rest of the week. And the reason I did stop out is because once I saw that we were not pulling back on that Tuesday, Monday morning, that the most likely, the chances are that we're most likely just going to keep floating up with light volume. As you guys can probably tell, volume has been very light the last couple of days, 61 million, 64, 67. We did get a $100 million, 100 million share trade, or sorry, volume traded on Friday, but that's probably because of weekly close. Anyways, overall, Bitcoin is still pushing higher here. And right now, the most important thing is that it's not about counting to see if this is a wave one or if this is a wave two, right? And it's a bigger retracement. Either is going to be a bigger retracement or it's going to be a small pullback into new all-time highs. The important thing that to pay attention to is going to be the pullback. And I say this because once we do get our pullback, we 100% eventually will. Nothing goes up in a straight line. And right now, you're getting massive divergence on the 1 hour time frame. You don't have any on the 4 hour and the daily. You don't have any divergences right now. You actually have a hangman candle at the moment. But overall, once you do get the pullback, what you want to see is support hold, right? So you want to see these gaps filled and the buyers step in at 420, 421, and the price bounce back right away, and then you try and recapture and break past this 440 area. Right now, I think the price is going to go to the 440 area, most likely maybe by the end of the week, and then we'll get a pullback next week. But the pullback is going to be the important factor here, right? Because that's going to determine whether this is going to be this was a wave two, and this is going to start an entire new wave towards the downside, which is going to be, the very big wave. Because the wave three is always going to be the biggest wave, and that's going to be, pretty violent, right? So if you start to take out these lows here at 4,100, then in my opinion, you're really going to start to break down in the markets, and then it's going to start to show, right? You're going to take out this pivot low. You're going to find a low. You're going to bounce back. Everyone is going to jump in and buy the dip here. We're going to retest this resistance, and then we're going to come back down. And everyone that keeps buying the dip is going to get absolutely obliterated. But right now, we're not there yet. We keep floating up. And I say this right now because this is a good opportunity to potentially start getting into some short positions here right around the highs on the SPY. Again, none of this is financial advice. Please do your own research and do what you want. Let's take a look here at the SPY on the 1 hour time frame. And again, we saw actually two more sell signals come in. We got the initial one, now we got a second one, and the price keeps floating higher on light volume. So that's a good signal that we might get a reversal soon. But again, we can keep floating up on light volume. Don't discount it. QQQs, we actually got a red cross on the 4 hour time frame. We've seen these red crosses in the past come out around and near the highs. I am in some shorts right now, and I am short this not in this entire rally. I only got recently short at the highs. I did not short at the lows. We actually longed at the lows, and unfortunately, we exited our longs a little bit too early because the price is just going absolutely insane right now. But yeah, again, we got some more sell signals from the whales here on the triple Qs. I don't think. Oh yeah, we did get some on the diamonds as well. Let me check the IWM. The IWM, we haven't seen any selling yet, but the IWM has been absolutely getting killed right now. It just can't get out of its own way. It got a nice relief rally, but right now it seems like it's going to resume its downtrend and retest the lows at maybe 161. But overall, if we do start to bull flag here and we start to push higher, then you're going to have some targets maybe around 183. Okay, right around this gap fill area, you're going to take out 180 as your gap fill, and then you're going to go maybe into this red bar high right around 182 to 183. Overall, the monthly time frame on the SPY, even with this big rally, I believe it still has its red dot. Yeah, it's still confirmed its red dot here. The triple Qs, The red dot is still there as well. Surprisingly, the triple Qs, you've had a monster rally right now in the triple Qs. Basically the Nasdaq. The triple Qs is the Nasdaq. It's up basically 9% right now. It's broken out of its downsloping trend line, but we need to see confirmation. We need to see follow through. If this fails tomorrow, we come back down, then a failed pattern usually gets the most violent moves towards the downside. Okay, so that's why you need to be careful longing here. I mean, you'd have to be smoking some really good stuff to be longing right about now. You'd be a danger to yourself and the people around you if you're longing right now. But overall, do what you want. Right now, the daily time frame is definitely firming up. You could see red money flow starting to creep back up on the SPY, the triple Qs, and the diamonds. The IWM, it's a whole different story. We've been getting deep red money flow on the daily, the weeklies, and red money flow. You do have a green dot on the weekly time frames though, so that's the positive, right? That's the bullish scenario. You do have seasonality, but the larger time frames are just what's painting the bigger picture for me right now. So again, still net bearish when you take a look at the larger time frames, except for the triple Qs. It's up only on the Nasdaq because of given the Magnificent Seven only keep pushing higher. So that's your little tidbit of information there. The Nasdaq will always moon as long as the Magnificent Seven keep going up. So something that's interesting that happened here is the discount that I had drawn out here. So this is no longer a 5-wave move up. To me, this looks like an ABC corrective wave, although it is impulsive. But again, you can get impulsive moves sometimes. But overall, it looks like maybe this was an ABC, and now you're starting your 5-wave move down. And again, the third wave is the most violent and impulsive wave, and the biggest waves usually in wave 3, and those are the ones you don't want to miss. So again, wave 3 can extend significantly lower, and then you can come back down in a fifth wave as well. So right now, oil is definitely impulsing down. You do want to be careful. You don't want to get in the way of this. I wouldn't even short this right now, given geopolitical conditions. I wouldn't long it either because I would be very concerned of a recession announcement. And again, the RSI can get extremely oversold. Just because we're getting low here doesn't mean the price is going to stop falling. The RSI can remain, very low for a very long time, and the price can just continue its downtrend, right? So that's something important to note. I think that $100 barrel is kind of out of the question now, unless maybe a big bomb is dropped tomorrow on a U.S. base and it kills hundreds of Americans. The U.S. gets involved in the war, or even more wars, I guess I should say, because they're already kind of involved in Ukraine now. But again, we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about natural gas. Natural gas definitely coming back to retest its highs here at $3. It's gonna do a lot of this. It's gonna be choppy and sloppy. It's gonna do a lot of backing filling, but you should know that the overall trend is gonna be up. Right now, there's a lot of bearish news coming out. They're trying to push it lower. Right? There's an oversupply in Europe. They've got the biggest stockpile in history. Right? And then the weather is very warm right now. I believe that will all start to turn once the price starts to go up. You're going to see the news suddenly say, oh, it's the coldest we've ever seen in Europe, actually. And oh, the reserves, they misallocated it, or they miscounted. They actually have a shortage now. And you're going to see, ever since we've entered the $2 to $3 range in natural gas, it's been extremely unprofitable for these companies to manufacture and produce natural gas. So they've just cut off their rigs. So you've seen the rig count go down significantly, and that is very bullish. And when you have a huge demand and supply constraint appear out of nowhere, then you're going to see that there's going to be a price shock, and it's going to start to skyrocket. But anyways, we'll take it day by day. This is a very long trade. It's a monthly time frame trade. These trades can take very long to play out. As you guys can probably tell, these candles have been forming for a very long time. They're all monthly candles. Let's take a look here at maybe a couple of stocks. NVDA keeps pushing higher here. So again, I've adjusted my wave 2 count. It is actually at 465. This is just an upside objective right now. We're essentially back in the mean of this channel. We'll see if it gets rejected tomorrow. Again, don't get in over leveraged positions. Always have a lot of wiggle room, and always have a stop set, or at least a psychological level where you're going to stop out yourself, right? Because you don't want to get caught in front of these things, right? If you start shorting down here and you were just over leveraged, you were leveraged to the hills just because we were overbought and we had bearish divergence, then you would have gotten blown up, because it would have gone up 100% more than whatever what anyone could have thought it could have happened, right? But overall, still quite bearish. I think we do have another leg down coming in NVIDIA, but overall it can still be very bullish, right? Even if you come back down and fill this gap at 300, you still have a higher a higher low. Technically, you'd be retesting the highs, and you can still bounce back up to new all-time highs after that. That's why I say that the SPY can still come down to 3,800, right? And it can still be bullish, right? You could still bounce off those levels, although that is going to be critical support once you get there. But you'd rather stay within this range right here and hold it as support and then bounce higher. But right now, a lot of people are getting very bullish, very optimistic. It's very dangerous when everyone gets on one side of the trade. I try to get away from there when that starts to happen. Like right now, everyone is long the TLT. I'm not shorting bonds anymore. I'm just watching what people are doing, and everyone is piling into the TLT. Maybe it's also because banks are de-risking right now during this rally. Banks and institutions and hedge funds, they are selling to retail. Believe it or not, they are selling their equities to retail. They are getting into bonds. You could see that on the dark pool trades. We've had so many dark pool trades on the TLT. It's just insane. I've lost count at this point. It's probably in the hundreds, right? Because the institutions they've been accumulating the TLT, and they're getting out. They're getting out of equities. They want to get into bonds, and again, the bonds bond yields can crash very very quickly and bounce back up, and that could be followed by a significant stock market pullback. But we're not gonna speculate too much on that right now. So overall, the count is still the same for the bearish scenario. The bullish scenario, what we want to see is this pullback once we get to 440 or 441 or whatever you want within this resistance box that I have drawn out, and after that you want to see this pullback hold. If it fails and starts to go lower and you start to test the wave 1 as the low here, then you would start to invalidate the bullish scenario pretty significantly. Okay, and there's a lot of people that are talking about this inverse head and shoulders, right? Something like this, where the price is going to come down, bounce back up, and then that's going to be your neckline, and you're just going to blast off, right? That is possible, but something to note is that inverse head and shoulders do not form. Oh, they can form, but they usually don't form at highs, and that's where we're at right now. We're pretty elevated in the market. Inverse head and shoulders form at lows, and I'll give you guys an example, like NVIDIA right here. NVIDIA had a beautiful inverse head and shoulders, right? I'll just draw with a brush here. You had your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder, and then you broke out, and boom, look what happened. Incredible, shot towards the upside. And the same thing would apply to up here. Now you're starting to form a little bit of a head and shoulders, although it's starting to invalidate it right now, and you're forming like a double shoulder, one head, and two right shoulders, which is, it's also another pattern, but usually that one doesn't play out. But we'll see how everything plays out, right? I've seen a significant amount of dark pool trades at the highs here of NVIDIA, but I wouldn't doubt that the market would float it up even higher, maybe to 530, 525. I marked here 525 because during after hours trading, this is where NVIDIA spiked up to. 525 was the all-time high during the after hours. After that, it came down and non-stop selling during that day of earnings. And we have earnings coming up this month for NVIDIA. That's going to be November 22. Let me take a look maybe at one more stock here. I think Tesla is in the hole right now. It's still in the short area. If it starts to impulse towards the downside in the coming days, then I would be careful if you were long at Tesla at these levels, you might want to take some profits on some of your positions and maybe start to look for some lower buy areas. Again, I would be not buying it, not even at this pivot low. I wouldn't try to get in front of this third wave for the last wave 5, right? Once you get into the fifth wave, then yes, then you can start to potentially look for some longs. Which is actually what PayPal is in. PayPal is in its fifth of fifth. I think I've drawn it out here. I only have the larger fifth drawn out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe PayPal will come back down here. But again, I think I've drawn it out a little bit differently on another chart. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I count little subwaves here. This might be a wave 4 correction, but it could actually go higher. The wave 4 can go higher. This wave 4 doesn't look done to me. So this wave 4 actually looks like a potential A, B, C, right? And then you might get another pump up to around $60, $61. And I have to do the math on where this could extend up. Just give me one moment. I'll just do it right now. Let's see where this can take us to. And this would bring us to right around this resistance zone here. We'll see if this works out. Again, this is just smaller time frame, so it's not guaranteed to play out. So right around $61.65 to $60.13 as would be where PayPal should be going in the short term. We should get at least one last rally, in my opinion, in the market. So maybe we'll get these smaller cap stocks to get one last impulsive wave up. I think I just deleted the bigger count. There we go. Yeah, I meant to delete the fib, not the count. And then after that, you'll come back down in a final wave 5. And I do have a buy area that's even lower than these trend lines, and it's right around $45 to $41. So again, if you guys want me to do more analysis on your stocks and stocks that you hold, then just leave a link, leave the ticker in the description, and I'll take a look at it for you guys. I think I had a request to maybe take a look at the VIX. So again, the VIX is again also in my buy area. It's actually like just holding by a thread right now because it's actually piercing my buy area. So again, the VIX should start to hold at these levels. It should chop sideways, and then after maybe November 16, we'll have an important date there crossing, and then we should have a big move back up in the VIX, and that should bring down the SPY. Okay. But anyways, I think that's it for tonight. Hopefully, this helped you guys, and I'll keep you guys updated if something really big happens in the markets. That's dramatic, like a 4% or 3% down day. I will definitely make an emergency video. But overall, just stay tuned, and I'll give you guys updates on Twitter as well. Don't panic. Text me on Twitter about your over leveraged positions. It does not. I won't be able to help you. There's no new information for me to tell you that's going to make your day better. You just have to stop out and take the loss. Hopefully, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys on Friday. Peace.